hero to many, especially the unborn. A woman who has undoubtedly made and will continue to make an impact on the national scene. So without further ado, it is my distinct pleasure and privilege to introduce you to Governor Sarah Palin.
Enjoying getting to know the people of New Orleans. Last time I was here, it was for an oil and gas conference, and now being here, hearing of the inspiring stories and people who have rebuilt and really revitalized and restored after Katrina, it's very inspiring. I want to take a moment to thank this amazing city, especially the people who represent New Orleans, who are working here, serving guests today with public safety and with the wait staff, making us feel so at home. We thank you, New Orleans. I knew I shouldn't say you betcha after that. I don't think we'll go, but who that? Good patriotic people here. And I know this crowd too. Patriotic people. And do you love your freedom? If you love your freedom, then we think of that. And we're going to do that right now. I know that there are folks here who have served in the past, maybe serving today in uniform. Raise your hand. We want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We thank you, sir. Last time I was here, oil and gas conference, and now we are here as April 9th on American Tax Freedom Day. Happy Tax Freedom Day. Jonah Goldberg wrote a good piece in USA Today earlier this week about this, explaining that American citizens now spend about 100 days of the year working for their government before they start earning our own money that we get to spend. And that just doesn't sound right to me. That sounds like we're working for government instead of government working for us. It's time that we reverse that. But happy American Tax Freedom Day here on April 9th. Well, folks, it seems like we are really learning what the president meant with his slogan, "Yes, we can." When you turn that sound bite into a sentence, you get, "Yes, we can spread the wealth around. Yes, we can spend money that we do not have on programs that we don't need, and we're going to stick the next generation with the bill." To a lot of us, that's stealing. And yes, we can put our country back on a track. It's not a good track because this track is going to quadruple our national debt. And yes, we can let the government take over 1/6 of the private sector economy with the mother of all unfunded mandates, Obamacare. These are just a few of the domestic policy accomplishments, and in foreign policy, well, now we've got the makings of the Obama Doctrine. The Obama Doctrine, which is coddling enemies and alienating allies. The administration eased sanctions on Cuba and sided with Chavez against Honduran democracy. They won't bring up human rights with China because they, quote, they already know what they're going to say. They offer tepid conditions and sanctions on North Korea and gold stars and cookies to the Sudanese presidents. They send letters to Iranian mullahs, but can barely muster a word of support for the Green Movement, those in Iran seeking freedom, seeking women's rights, barely uttering a word of support for that. Now, the president, with all the vast nuclear experience that he acquired as a 50-year-old
I told you she would say it.
Korea and Iran. Meanwhile, this administration alienates our friends. They treated the Afghan president, Karzai, poorly, and then they feigned surprise when he reacted in kind. They escalated a minor zoning decision into a major breach with Israel, our friend, our closest ally in the Middle East. Let's remind our president, Jerusalem is not a settlement, and Israel is our friend. North Korea because they have nukes, and Iran because they want nukes. So, yes, we can kowtow to enemies, criticize allies, vacillate, bow, dither. Yes, we can, but somebody needs to tell the president just because we can does not mean that we should. That 2008 slogan for 2010, and having just rammed through a more than $2 trillion healthcare takeover, flying around the country now on this taxpayer-funded victory lap, proclaiming proudly, yes, we did. Well, you know, I wouldn't be so quick to slap that one on a bumper sticker, not just yet, because I think a lot of common sense conservatives can relay some slogans that the majority of Americans like a lot better than that, like repeal and replace.